Tom Hanks made his film debut, He Knows You're Alone. It was a horror movie, and he was in charge of a character who was originally written to be killed. There were many unknown actors who were similar to him on the set. Tom Hanks finally realized his situation after seeing them. Fellow actors constantly struggled with even one screaming performance. How can they show their presence even a little more? Tom Hanks finally realized that becoming a star is a long, long journey. Although he had limited time screen, he still made an impact with charismatic personality off camera. Despite having a small part, he persevered and created a lively atmosphere by conversing with various individuals during his visits to the filming location. The production team, who were impressed by his energetic demeanor, made the unconventional decision to give his character more significance, who was originally decided to die. Instead, they made him a survivor. The performances of lesser-known actors he witnessed while filming his first movie caused him to reflect. In a competitive industry, he believed it would be challenging to quickly establish himself in a typical role. This led him to make a bold move early on his acting career. He made the decision to take on a cross-dressing role in the comedy sitcom Bosom Buddies. He portrayed the character of an office worker who disguises himself as a woman in order to live in a low-rent female-only apartment complex. Initially, he was only meant to dress as a woman in the pilot episode. However, due to the unexpectedly positive response at the first airing, the production team continued to have him dress in women's clothing. This tear-jerking fashion display continued for 2 years. Tom Hanks made an impressive debut with a standout and unconventional role, capturing the attention of the public. Despite his success as a lead in a well-known sitcom, there was some uncertainty about where he would be cast next. For over a year, he was unable to secure any acting roles and found himself living on unemployment benefits. As his savings dwindled, his confidence and self-esteem also declined. He revealed that when shopping, he would round up the prices of items in order to set aside a small emergency fund as a way to alleviate his anxiety. For 2 more years, he continued to have infrequent appearances in small parts, causing his presence to slowly fade away. During this time, he found love with a mermaid in the 1984 movie Splash, kindling the hope of revival in his acting career. It is a romantic comedy that centered around the theme of love between a human and a mermaid. With the idea of a mermaid movie may now seem cliché, it was a unique concept for a live-action film in 1984, preceding Disney's The Little Mermaid by 5 years. Actually, this movie was made with famous actors in the lead roles. However, none of the actors who were offered the role were receptive to such a bizarre idea. When the director faced challenges finding actors who were willing to take on such a unique concept, they opted to cast an unknown performer in the lead role. The film production company was concerned about this decision and voiced their belief that casting an unknown actor would lead to poor box office performance. The director presented the production company with Tom Hanks' audition tape, much to their surprise. As they only remembered Tom Hanks as a comedic actor, they were taken aback by the image on the tape. Instead of the funny transvestite they had in mind, they saw a romantic young man gazing affectionately at the woman he loved. The film was a huge success at the box office, earning 7 times its budget. Tom Hanks, with his charming demeanor, captured the hearts of many women. Daryl Hannah, who portrayed the mermaid in the film, reminisced about the experience and mentioned that her heart raced whenever Tom looked at her with those warm eyes. Regaining his confidence, Tom Hanks resumed his acting journey and starred in multiple films. One of these performances made a significant impact, which was his portrayal in the 1988 movie Big. The film depicted the story of a playful boy who is transformed into an adult after making a wish. It was a difficult role to play since the role demanded Tom Hanks to present a character who was both mature and youthful at the same time. A particular scene where he innocently played the keyboard on the floor alongside an elderly boss in a department store remains etched in film history as a classic and well-known moment. The lead role in the film was initially intended for Harrison Ford, but he was replaced by Tom Hanks as he appeared too mature for the part. This film marked Tom Hanks' first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Although he didn't win, his nomination set the stage for his future success. He was outperformed by Dustin Hoffman, who won the award for his brilliant portrayal of an autistic patient in the highly successful film Rain Man. This nomination was a significant milestone in Tom Hanks' career, paving the way for him to take the next step forward. However, from then on, he had a string of films that did not do well at the box office. This was a setback after he ventured into more serious acting and abandoned his successful comedic roles. He quickly returned to comedy, but he was unable to recover his former reputation as a box office success. Over the following 5 years, Tom Hanks appeared in a series of films, mostly comedies, but they were met with box office disappointment. In 1992, he lost his father who had raised him and his 2 siblings. Yet, it was also in the same year that he made a triumphant return after a prolonged break. He played the role of a former baseball star who became a coach in the movie A League of Their Own. The film covers a historical period since the movie was inspired by real events in the world of women's professional baseball. During World War II, many American male baseball players have enlisted in the military, so the future of the sport was uncertain. The owners came up with the idea of starting a women's league to keep the sport alive. The women's league gained quickly popularity, but as male players returned to the sport after the war, its popularity declined. Eventually, the league faded into history after only 9 years of existence. He made a deliberate effort to physically transform himself for the role, putting on 13 kilograms to achieve a more robust appearance. To accomplish this, he relied on his favorite method of weight gain, ice cream. Every day, he visited an ice cream parlor and indulged in a variety of flavors, trying every taste that the shop had to offer. The movie was a huge success at the box office, particularly in North America, where it secured the top spot among all baseball films in terms of box office performance. Madonna, who had a supporting role in the film, further added to its success by singing the soundtrack herself, which also reached number 1 on the Billboard charts. In 2012, the film was selected for permanent preservation by the National Film Preservation Board because it is set in a women's baseball league that has disappeared into history. The final surviving individual from the real-life events depicted in the film passed away at the age of 103 in 2021. Even in the year of her death, she watched the movie on her birthday. Before this film, Tom Hanks' career had seen a decline from lead roles to supporting roles and then to minor roles. However, he was able to make a successful comeback through this movie. The success of this film paved the way for the release of a legendary romance movie, Sleepless in Seattle, with his co-star Meg Ryan. The movie's charming tale of a grieving widower who, guided by his son, discovers a new love. Despite lacking intimate scenes, the movie captivates the audience with its soul-stirring atmosphere and powerful on-screen chemistry between its lead actors Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. The film was a tremendous hit at the box office, reaching number 5 on the charts and establishing Hanks as a top-performing actor with 2 consecutive box office successes. Tom Hanks has made a successful recovery, and his reputation has been on the rise. However, he had one lingering concern. His film career was mainly comprised of comedic and romantic genres, with all his cameo appearances being in the same vein. As he approached his 40s, Tom Hanks decided to take a bold step forward in his career. He declined all the comedy film offers that came his way and actively pursued more challenging roles. Tom Hanks made a deliberate choice to star in the 1993 film Philadelphia. In this film, he portrayed a gay man who was suffering from AIDS. To fully embody the character, he underwent a significant physical transformation, losing 20 kilograms to look like a person affected by the illness. His performance in this film was truly captivating and left audiences in awe. Tom Hanks received a recognition for his outstanding performance in Philadelphia, as he was awarded the Academy Award for Best Actor. These served as a validation for his choice to take on new challenges and his unwavering commitment to his craft. His pursuit for new and diverse opportunities in his career continues. The following year, Tom Hanks took on the role of a man with a cognitive impairment in the legendary film Forrest Gump. This film, which portrays the emotional and eventful journey of a character with an IQ of 75, was a commercial success, reaching the top of the box office charts that year. During this time, the use of computer graphics was rapidly gaining popularity in the Hollywood film industry. However, the limitations of technology at the time meant that scenes featuring the main character interacting with historical figures had to be created frame by frame manually. This resulted in seamless and realistic scenes, such as the one where Forrest shakes hands with President Kennedy in the 1960s and deals with his difficulties in using the restroom. It is important to note that Tom Hanks did not immediately excel in the challenging role he took on in Forrest Gump. In fact, the first 3 days of filming had to be scrapped due to his lack of comfort in the part of awkward acting. Acting in a Southern dialect was particularly challenging for Tom Hanks, but he persevered and worked tirelessly to improve. He practiced the dialect and received guidance from an actor who portrayed a child in the film. Through these efforts, he achieved great success and was awarded the Academy Award for Best Actor 2 years in a row, following his win the previous year for Philadelphia. That year, the competition for the awards was fierce, with many talented actors vying for recognition. Despite the tough competition, Tom Hanks emerged victorious, defeating Morgan Freeman for The Shawshank Redemption and John Travolta for Pulp Fiction. Tom Hanks holds a distinction of being only one of 2 actors in the history of the Academy Awards to have won the Best Actor awards for 2 consecutive years. The other actor was Spencer Tracy, who won the award in 1937 and 1938. However, Tom Hanks was not contented to stop there. He now has aspirations to expand his reach beyond the film genre and venture into other areas, including animation. In 1995, Tom Hanks took on the role of the lead character Woody in the film Toy Story. Toy Story made a significant impact on the animation industry and holds a place in history as the first ever 3D feature animation. Not only did Toy Story revolutionize animation, but it also played a crucial role in saving Pixar Studios from financial ruin. At the time, the studio was on the brink of bankruptcy, but the success of Toy Story propelled it to become the world-renowned animation production company it is today. Steve Jobs, who was the chairman at the time, was keeping the studio afloat by continuously investing his own funds each year. Toy Story was the final challenge for Pixar and was made under a contract with Disney. The film was a huge success and topped the box office charts for the year. Toy Story has proven to be a timeless classic, with 4 sequels spanning a period of 24 years and continues to be beloved by audiences of all ages. Tom Hanks put a lot of heart and love into his portrayal of Woody. When he was recording his final performance for Toy Story 4, he expressed that he was deeply emotional at the thought of saying goodbye to a character that he had been attached to for 25 years. During the recording of the last scene, Tom Hanks became extremely emotional and had to turn his back to the crew in order to get through it. Despite the difficulty, he was able to complete the recording. Tom Hanks is known for his impressive portrayal of rugged soldier characters, particularly in the 1998 film Saving Private Ryan. He gave a standout performance in this film. In the film Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks delivered a powerful performance as a soldier, leading his troops to a remote location. The scene where he mourns the loss of his subordinate with tears, then quickly composes himself to hide his emotions from his troop, made a lasting impact on audiences. The film was a landmark in war film history, owing to the powerful acting of Tom Hanks and the skilled direction of Steven Spielberg. This approach to filmmaking was designed by Steven Spielberg to give audiences a realistic first-hand experience of war. He even hired actors with disabilities, including those without arms or legs, to convey the devastating impact of war and filmed the battle scenes with a handheld technique to enhance the sense of realism. This approach helped making Saving Private Ryan a landmark in the history of war films and was greatly contributed to by Tom Hanks' powerful performance. Additionally, the intense and realistic portrayal of the beach landing operation in the opening 30 minutes of the film was a particularly impactful moment, having been accurately recreated from a photograph taken by a war photographer at the time. This scene left many veterans in awe of the film's authenticity. One veteran was so moved by the scene that he shed tears, noting that the only thing missing was the scent of the battlefield. The actors underwent intense military training, simulating the experiences of real Marines in order to deliver a convincing performance. On a particularly rainy and windy day, when the other actors were ready to call it quits, Tom Hanks stepped up and encouraged them to persevere and complete the training. The military training was grueling, but it was still mild compared to the difficulties portrayed in the following movie. In the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks portrayed a character who was stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. Initially, he coped well, but as time went by, he depicted a realistically gaunt figure that was filmed over the course of a year. To accurately portray the character's time stranded on the island, the director instructed Tom to undergo a significant physical transformation, including losing 25 kilograms and maintaining an unkempt appearance for the duration of the year-long shoot. The actor underwent a strict diet regimen to lose weight before filming. Despite being in a weakened state from the diet, he persevered through the challenging filming process. To achieve a heightened sense of realism, Tom was filmed performing various actions outdoors in harsh weather conditions, with the camera positioned from a distance to capture his movements as if he was being observed without any directorial intervention. To fully immerse himself in his role, Tom Hanks performed various activities such as picking coconuts, fishing, and starting a fire without any dialogue. The camera was placed at a distance as if observing him, making his performance even more realistic. Tom Hanks, an actor with over 45 years of experience, experiences pressure and struggles to sleep when taking on a new role, even after all these years. Tom Hanks stated that once a movie is created, it remains in the world permanently. He expressed concern that if he were to appear disinterested or lethargic in a film, people would remember that image of him instead of the positive memories of his youth. As of 2023, Tom Hanks has taken on the role of an unapproachable elderly man in the film A Man Called Otto, as well as the movie adaptation of Richard McQuarrie's novel Here and the soon-to-be-released Asteroid City. Hanks is highly regarded for his genuine effort and depth of character in all of his performances, which can be seen in his early career as he always prioritizes art and theater. This dedication is what makes him a remarkable and inspiring actor.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.